Ready for C on subsidies? We're talking about something called a price support. And this is done sometimes, not always in farms, but think about things that are not quite as commonly produced. So, corn, wheat, and beans are your three big legal, mostly cash crops. But think about things that maybe aren't quite so common, like oats and barley and quinoa, stuff like that. That's you see sometimes, but not as much. Or maybe things like produce, blueberries come to mind. Things that aren't everywhere, kind of stuff. Well, sometimes it's a big problem for people to produce those because it's kind of risky. You don't have a solid market or a real huge market. You think about blueberries; they're kind of sensitive. They're hard to grow. Not everybody loves them. I'm guessing most of you don't love blueberries. If you do, you maybe like them somewhat. Whereas strawberries are a lot more common, a lot more popular. So sometimes government will give money to these farmers to, encourage them to take a risk, if you will. Try something new. Try this new product that, why does government want people eating more blueberries and kale? And stuff like that. It's because it's good for you, and in theory it's good for you. You eat more of it, you have less health problems, and so on and so forth, which means government doesn't have to pay for you. So price support is one of those things designed to encourage risk taking. I've got notes here for you in a second, but it's also designed to help, to go back to the subsidies. One of the reasons they do subsidies also is to help protect the family farms. It's sort of it's part of what America is all about. And the argument is you want to preserve that, and you don't want the big farms to take everything over, even though they probably won't. So anyway, here's our definition is easy. Okay, money given to reduce per unit costs. So when you think about it costs so much money, and I've got this example. I'll show you here. Let me tilt the screen, make it better. Double chin. So let's just use this as an example. Let's say for whatever reason it costs $4.50 to produce 1 bushel of barley. And you farm guys, if I'm way off, I'm sorry. So he grows it, he takes it to the elevator to sell it or whatever, and the market price is $4.30. So it's below his cost. Well, he's losing 20 cents a bushel, obviously. So he's like, what am I going to do? He can't really lower his costs because he's already efficient and it's too late by that time. So what ends up happening is, and I'll try to draw this upside down, forgive me, is the price support comes in. And let's just make it easy and say, okay, I'm going to add 50 cents a bushel. Price support's a check. So basically you take that and you subtract it, and now all of a sudden your cost is $4 a bushel, so it reduced the per unit cost. So now, instead of 20 cent loss, you see he now has a 30 cent gain. So it turns his frown upside down. It turns his loss into a profit. Now the 50 cents is coming from you and me, but the big difference between price supports and withholding subsidies is that it doesn't affect the market price. If you look, I changed a bunch of things, but the one thing I did not change was the market price, which means that the price that you pay for blueberries or oats or oatmeal or whatever it is not going to change. And again, that's done on usually lesser grown crops, things that are a bit more risky. Think about those of you that know a farmer, think about them dropping everything and growing blueberries. It would be a big risk for lots of reasons. So price supports are designed to help encourage, like I said, that risk taking, or to continue to grow things that are maybe more specialty. When you think about certain types of popcorn, or certain types of corn that might be high oil or high for syrup or things like that aren't grown quite as much, this could also be used for that. So there you go. Quick one. Bye.